Hi everyone! Today I want to talk about Christmas. Christmas is just around the corner, and Christmas can be a wonderful time, but also it's a really stressful time, isn't it? And especially for mums, because we've got not just ourselves to organise, but we've also got children. And if your children are the age of believing in Father Christmas, then you've got all that magic and it's wonderful. And I'm so excited this year because my kids are 4 and 2.5, nearly 3, so it's probably going to be the most magical year. I see this awful trend of, well, it's not a trend, I guess it's always been the case, but this sort of and obviously I've never experienced this before because I'm still quite a new mum, but this almost competitive nature of who's going to buy the most presents for their children. And I'm in a few mummy groups on various different social networks, and I see this sort of, a picture of, it could be birthdays as well, it happens on birthdays too, but a picture of like a mammoth amount of presents. And they're like, oh, I really don't know if I bought Talia enough presents this year. I've only spent £500,000. And I'm like, are you for real? Talia's bloody won. Have a word with yourself. What is she going to do with all that? So, not to sound like Scrooge, but I don't think when your kids get older, right, obviously they're going to start wanting more things. You're going to be talking about techie stuff and all the technology, and it gets harder and harder to sort of monitor. But then again, by that age, you should be teaching the children the value of money and that Father Christmas in around. So you're buying the presents, in which case they should understand what your budgeting is. Now, it's not even about necessarily that, what I can and can't afford. But my principles are that I don't think children should be overly spoiled, especially when they're really young, because they don't understand the value of it. They don't, my children, I know, for example, don't know the difference between something that came free in a magazine to something I went and bought at the shop. They're as excited by me coming home with a cardboard box, not to sound cliched, but that's the truth. If I said to them, a stick that I found on the floor was a magic wand from Tinkerbell, they'd go with it. You can be a lot more inventive when children are that age. And I really think parents are setting themselves up for failure and hardship when they raise the bar so high when they're 2, 3, 4, 5, that by the time the kids are 14, 15, they're expecting a hell of a lot of presents and really expensive, and you've set that bar and you can only go one way. My children do write a list. And I've always been against this because I never wrote a list as a child because we didn't come from money, and even though I never ever felt like that. I always felt like I had everything that I needed because I did, really. I had love and family and clothes on my back and nice toys, and they might have been second hand, but I never questioned that. I didn't know that. And my parents obviously monitored me and my sister enough that we weren't greedy children and we appreciated the value of stuff because I never ever asked for anything and was always appreciative of what I got. And I want to bring my children up the same way. So we wrote a list of Father Christmas this year, and some of you on my Instagram saw what they put. And Texas wanted mushy peas, which was hilarious. She wanted mushy peas, a purple Barbie, and a lipstick. And she's 2.5. Funny. And she is getting mushy peas. And what I said to them is, look, this is so lovely, and what you're telling Father Christmas is the kind of things that you want. Now, girls, you might not get any of this on the list. It doesn't always work that way, but what you're doing is you're giving Father Christmas an idea of what you like, but whatever you get, you're going to love it, aren't you? Because it's going to be a present. And they went, yeah. And that's the thing, it's about monitoring expectations. Now, I know the pressures of parenthood, and I'm sure there's plenty of parents that say, yeah, but my friend's got this, and they've got this for their kids, and I feel the pressure to buy more. What I'm telling you is let yourself off and know that you don't have to compete with that, because your children want basic stuff. They don't need iPads and all this mad stuff. They don't need that. Yes, I'm sure they might like it, but they don't need it. And if you can't afford that and you're stretching yourself beyond your means so that you're worrying and fretting over the Christmas period, then what is the point in that? There's absolutely no point in that, and you need to get a grip is what you need to do, okay? So what you need to do is monitor your child's expectations. A few friends of mine say, but they see things on adverts. Okay, when my children watch adverts, do you know what I say? I say, adverts are so boring, aren't they? Flick, That's what I say. That's what I say, and that's what the children now do. They say, oh, Mum, I hate adverts, or whatever word Texas says. That doesn't sound like advert, but she thinks she's saying advert. Whereas I hear, obviously other parents at some point are going, oh, that looks good, doesn't it? Oh, isn't that good? Because otherwise their children wouldn't know what that was. I skip through them, I change the channel, or whatever, so the children aren't watching streams of advertising, because it's not good for them. So it is down to you as a parent to go, no, or nah, just change their perception of it. My kid, we go into the post office and they've got so many sweets by the counter. Now, obviously everywhere has, but for whatever reason, one of the days we went into there, I said, oh no, they're really disgusting sweets. It tastes like feet. And she was like, do they? Yeah, they're so disgusting. You don't want to have the sweets from here. They taste like feet. And now every time she goes in, she goes, Mum, they taste like feet, don't they? We don't like them. I'm like, nah. I just made that up. All right, she's only 4, and I know there will come a time when she's like, Mum, that is a load of rubbish. Then they don't taste like feet. You're saying that to try not to buy sweets for me. But you can change the perception in the world that your children see, is my point. And you don't have to put pressure on yourselves. Your children want your love. Your children want a few toys, but you can go to Poundland. You can go to, I don't know where's cheap in America, but you can go to cheap shops and get little things, and you can make things, and you can use your imagination. It doesn't have to be expense. Please stop putting the pressure. And also, may I add, you're putting the pressure on everybody else by spending a gargantuan amount on your children that is totally unnecessary. Let children be children. Let it be magic. Let it be fun. Be creative and wonderful. And you may look at this and go, well, bloody old hippie, let me buy stuff for my kids, you Scrooge. Maybe, but I don't like all this like obsession on materialism, and we don't need it. We really don't, and we're stressing ourselves out by thinking about it. And this year I'm buying my children a handful. Seriously, they've probably got about 5 presents each, and we haven't spent a lot at all. I mean, they're tiny little bits and pieces, and 5ers here, they're not expensive presents, and it's not because I can't afford to, it's because they don't need it and they wouldn't understand the value of it. And also other people buy them presents, and by the time they've got their 1s and 2s presents of everybody else, there's so much stuff, and they don't understand that children don't have that. And I want them to learn those values too. What we also do, and I'm sure loads of parents do this as well, but we give some of our presents away before to charity, and I explain to them why we do that. And we buy a present to give to somebody who, to give to charity, or to give to somewhere that's given to people that don't have as much as we do, because I think that's also a good lesson. So not to sound like some kind of martyr, but let's have good, wonderful Christmas spirit and teach our children the value of money, the value of what we've got, and how lucky we are, and that they might not get everything that's on that Christmas list, and that's okay, because they'll be grateful for everything that they do have. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Peace out, everyone.